Welcome to Toxic Ships Podcast, where my goal is to help you tap in and reveal the better self within. So, get settled and welcome to something like group therapy. Good evening, and thank you so much for deciding to drop in and share your energy with me. I'm your host, Tiffany R. Today's topic, life after discarding the narcissist. Now, I've shared a bit about what life was like living with a narcissist in past episodes, but today I'll be diving into life after discarding my undiagnosed psychotic narcissistic ex-husband. And you haven't seen how far a narcissist will go for control until you discard one. It was June of 2019, and I was preparing for a trip to St. Louis, Missouri to finalize things with the funeral home regarding my father's cremation. When it was time to return back to Memphis end of July that same year, we would move into a condemned property that we owned in the Fraser area, about 35 to 40 minutes away from my marital home. It was myself and my three youngest, one of which was my then 6-year-old type 1 diabetic son. My initial plan was to take the stock funds that I had snuck and saved up and get the proper permits pulled on the building so that we could acquire power. It was dead in the middle of summer in the south, so having power was important. But that plan was no longer an option because after contacting my stepmother, which is whom was keeping the stock profit that I had snuck and saved up safe for me. Anyway, after contacting her, she advised me that my entire $5,000 deposit disappeared when it hit her account because it was in the negative and she didn't know. Now, let me just say, when you have a lack mindset in finances, you are no doubt one of those individuals that constantly watch your account. I know because I was one of them. So basically, knowing that my children and I had nowhere to go, she took my last money and paid it back in multiple small amounts spanning months. And the me now cannot believe that I allowed that shit to go on. So since it took her a while to make any type of payment initially, I took my last and purchased a generator until the power was finally connected legally. And because I still had little to no money, I was struggling to make the condemned building a home. I can remember telling my ex that it was difficult trying to clean with no broom. He laughed and said, well, if you was at home, you would have a broom. He went on to make life even more difficult by not helping with our son at all. He made excuses as to why he couldn't keep him, and then he would get on Facebook and make a post about how difficult being a single dad was, and boy did his flying monkeys flock to that like flies to shit. And as a matter of fact, they're still at it to this day. Anyway, after pawning everything from my wedding ring to my bicycle. Hey guys, I know listening to other traumatic events can definitely be triggering for your own. So with that being said, enjoy this quick commercial break from Goodies for Thy Soul Online, where the mission is to pass on generational health for the masses. Hi, I'm Tiffany R., owner and creator of Goodies for Thy Soul Online. Goodies for Thy Soul Online is the sister company to Goodies for Thy Soul. Goodies for Thy Soul was created back in 2018 with one goal in mind, and that was to provide all-natural, life-saving, affordable products to the masses. Goodies for Thy Soul was such a success that I decided to take it one step further by creating Goodies for Thy Soul Online. Goodies for Thy Soul Online virtual goodie kits offer the same amazing product plus so much more. Included in your Goodies virtual kit is all the information that you will need to create your own goodies from the comfort of your own home. Not only have I put the power and knowledge of creation in your hands, I have armed you with my amazing, life-changing secret ingredients. So, whether you're simply in search of the all-natural solution to your problem, looking to pass down generational health, or finally start that private label company, Goodies for Thy Soul Online is the place for you. Happy creating! Welcome back. Before we jump back in, just an FYI, information for all advertisement can be found in the description below. Now, back to our regular show. I was financially able to afford appliances. This was great because by this time my son's A1C level was extremely high. Slowly I filled the building with furniture that I would find discarded on the side of the road and also from my favorite place, Goodwill. I was without a car, but I would make 2 trips to the grocery store on the Matter, which is the public transportation in Memphis, Tennessee. I would tug along my carry-on suitcase and fill it with as much groceries as possible. I was so grateful that the stop was directly in front of the house. Things were starting to feel normal until one day my ex came to finally pick my son up. By this time, I still hadn't gained the voice to tell him he couldn't come inside. So while he was there, he became upset because I had finally made the home feel comfy. And when he noticed that, he tried to walk through. But I gained a strength from a place that I've never had it before and told him no. I ended up having to stand in front of him, blocking away from leaving the living room. So he sat his weak ass on my fucking couch that I struggled to get in the house financially and physically, and he refused to leave. I had to call the cops. This was the first of many times. But when they arrived, these motherfuckers told me since we both owned the property that he didn't have to leave. And damn, did that feed his weak narc ass. One of the officers pulled me aside and snuck and provided me information on filing a restraining order, but that shit was kicked out even with proof of a death threat. Now, when I provide receipts, I provide receipts. So with everything being kicked out, I can only assume, or I only know, that it was for a reason. Funny thing is, isolating me was to take my strength away from me, but he didn't realize that I love being alone. So it only fed me. It only made me stronger. Isolation is nothing to fear. You know, it's bad enough to find out you were sleeping with the devil himself, but to find out the motherfucker was playing dumb was sickening to my stomach. He had been playing me like a fiddle and I had no clue. He had the money and the power of manipulation, and with that, I stayed trying to play catch up, all while his foot was firmly on my fucking neck. I continued to deal with the stalking, him not making court order payments, breaking into my emails, planning on ways to get past my security cameras, and a ton of other shit. I finally had to pack up and leave the country. He's a felon. He can't reach me physically in my current location. But physically leaving the situation is what triggered my mental healing of this very situation. And trying to heal in a home with a narcissist, or any toxic individual for that matter, is nearly impossible. I'm sending much courage and strength to those that currently resonate with my truth. Well, folks, that is all of our time. I am grateful to all that tuned in today. I do pray that you were able to find an answer or even a glimmer of hope. Until next time, make it a great day. The choice is literally yours.